Welcome back to some new r/PettyRevenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Mom's Revenge. My mom is a sweet, shy, loving, and generous woman. She loves kids, animals, and everyone. She moved to a new neighborhood, where everyone around her has at least one pet dog. She is not a dog owner, but likes them still. However, the front lawn is the toilet lawn for about 5 different dogs. She keeps a beautiful lawn and garden, and she has very young grandchildren who visit frequently. There are fresh piles every day that she goes out and cleans up. But that is not actually the worst of it. Multiple times a day, the dogs of the houses on either side of her house bark back and forth at each other. She can't relax out in her backyard without being interrupted by high-pitched yapping from both directions. Well, she had to leave for 2 days to go somewhere. Before she left, she got out a speaker and amplifier and downloaded a playlist of nothing but the sound of annoying dog barks, played it on repeat on full blast aimed out in her backyard, and left. The next story is called Bad Neighbor. We had a really bad neighbor growing up, the kind who would kick your dog on his way to check the mail, call the cops for any infraction, like us using chalk to make a hopscotch on the road. Just a total scary prick. The dude was also fastidious about his yard and lawn. Someone swore they saw him on his knees once, cutting blades of grass with scissors. We lived on a cul-de-sac, so we always saw him out in his yard. It was his absolute pride and joy. He menaced us kids big time if we even played near it. He had no wife or kids and was retired, so he had all the time in the world to stare out the window at us and come yelling if we did anything he didn't like. In my freshman year of high school, after years of fear and torment from him, I got back at him. I was doing a student job after school in the office, and back then, everything was on paper. Computers weren't in public use then. Most of my time was spent freehole punching, binding booklets, and stapling handouts. One day, I watched, bored, as the tiny circles of paper fell out of the hole punch into the trash. And suddenly, I devised a plan. I decided to save them all. I'd go around and empty all the freehole punchers in the office every day and dump them into our big box. By the end of the school year, I had about 6 shoeboxes worth of tiny paper circles. One night, me and the neighborhood kids took those boxes and silently dumped them all over his yard, on the grass, in his prized flower beds, just everywhere. We lived in Seattle, so it rained that night. And it rained perfectly, just slightly, just enough so the paper wouldn't blow away, or could be removed with a leaf blower. I heard him scream the next morning, and it was beautiful. He had to hire someone to replace all the mulch from his flower bed and resort his lawn, because there was just no way to get all the soggy paper circles up. If it had been newspapers, no problem, because that can act as a mulch or cover. But it was, at the time, highly bleached paper, which was not degrading anytime soon. The third story is called The Same Size. We lived on a cul-de-sac with only 7 houses and had neighbors that would let their Yorkie out to make business on everyone else's front yards, so they didn't have to pick up the mess. When anyone on our street tried to speak with these jerks, they would say, "No English, no English." They owned a local Italian restaurant and tried to pretend that they didn't speak any English. We had our petty revenge though. We had a very territorial Brussels Griffon that was the same size as that neighbor's Yorkie. So when the opportunity struck at 5 in the morning, I took advantage of the moment. I heard the restaurant owner's dog bark after they opened their front door, and sure enough, they let their Yorkie out, who beelined for our front yard. My dog, who we normally let out in our backyard, was with me when I was inside near my front door. I was going to get the morning newspaper. I opened the front door, and my dog bolted for the Yorkie. The non-English speaking Italian restaurant owners screamed and screamed. I called out in a very quiet voice, "No, no, stop. No, no, come back." My dog chased their dog back to their front door before they slammed the door closed. After their dog made it inside their home. It was spectacular. Then my dog came home looking very satisfied. I picked up my newspaper, smirking back from the driveway. After that, they must have started letting the dog out to do its business in their backyard, because we never saw it or his business in our front yard after that. The next story is called Spam the Hacker. A few months ago, I suddenly received an email from Instagram that someone was trying to break into my account. They recommended that I make sure everything was secured. Sure enough, when I checked all the devices logged into my account, I found 3 unknown fake profiles. I did my best trying to knock the hacker out and even reset my password. However, the hacker still got the upper hand, changing both the password and the email attached to the account. If you have ever been hacked through your Instagram profile, you'll know that the social media site does the absolute minimum to get it retrieved for you. I've been hacked twice on Facebook, and both times they have successfully recovered my account. Yet when it comes to Instagram, it doesn't matter how many times an account can be reported. They'll do nothing. Even when you try to log back in to recover the account by taking a photo, it doesn't even work. So here they were, parading under my name, trying to promote their scam. I have another account set up, and while I wasn't devastated by the loss of my 10-year-old account, I was more upset that the hacker was getting away with using my account. I know that they still use it, because my aunt thought I had bought a car recently, and even commented on the photo. Overall, I just wanted to get back at them. That's when I remembered the notification Instagram had sent me, letting me know that the email for the account had been changed. The email, name and all was just sitting there, plain as day. Cue my PettyRevenge. I began internet surfing for any site or store I could use to subscribe them to, using their Gmail account. Maybe the hacker is a parent. So here's some mummy blog updates. What if they want to know their horoscope on a daily, weekly and monthly basis? Here are a few astrology sites to keep them updated. And let's not forget that they will need to shop at CVS every once in a while. And if you have ever had an email from them, you'll know that they will go all out to spam your inbox. The last story is called Jerk Tags. Years ago, I worked at a movie theater. It was largely a pretty fun job. The only real downside was the customer service part. Most customers were fine, or even nice. But as anyone who has ever worked a minimum wage job will tell you, there were always those few that just really like to treat workers like crap. It was in the middle of one of these interactions when some jerk was going on about how we should be ashamed of ourselves for how expensive all the food was, and how I needed to hurry up because he was missing the previews. When a fun idea occurred to me. The theater I worked at gave you margarine on your popcorn for free, or charged you 50 cents if you wanted real butter. It occurred to me that with his multi-item order, and with sales tax being added on, I bet he wouldn't notice if his order was just that little bit more expensive. So I hit the butter button 3 times. And I was right. He didn't notice the upcharge. He just paid it, all while moaning about the high prices. After that, I started using the butter button as a jerk tax for the rest of my time there. Well, that and the pants ruiner move. Oh, Mr. Rude, you want butter? Sure, let me layer that for you. I would then drop in the smallest amount of popcorn and douse it with butter, so it will bleed through the bag. and wreck the pans with grease stains. Then put a nice fluffy layer of popcorn on top, so they wouldn't notice the elevated butter level till it was too late. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.